how to drive now.
La isla.
Det här är ön.
Insel.
The island. Det är stenarna.
It's the ruts.
It's the heat. Cette chaleur incessante.
Den här ön måste bara vinna en gång.
Oh, no way, huge roll!
Tienes que ganar cada vez.
Contact, Gutierrez in the rocks!
To conquer the island.
The island.
The island.
The island. The island.
Hello and welcome to Extreme E, where we're in Sardinia for the Island X Prix. My name is Nikki Shields, and alongside me is commentator extraordinaire Andrew Coley.
Thank you, Nikki. Looking forward to this. Extreme E is a sport with a purpose to race for the planet in the fight against climate change. And we're back in the heart of the Mediterranean Sea for the third time to revisit our legacy projects, where we've helped restore both land and sea after tragic environmental disasters.
Sunbaked Sardinia is also one of the toughest tracks in the calendar, but the fully electric Odyssey 21 SUVs are well prepared. Extreme E has raced on this course every year, which has produced some of the biggest moments in the championship history. Only the toughest competitors win in Sardinia.
Piloting these cutting-edge machines are 20 of the fastest off-road drivers on the planet, with a motorsport first driver pairing of one male and one female, equally competing together for all important championship points.
The championship is about more than just elite competition, though. The locations we race in are just as important as the races themselves. Our drivers and scientific community are always involved in legacy projects that directly help local communities in the regions we race in. Let's see where else the championship is going to be heading for season 3.
Well, of course, we started down in Saudi Arabia for rounds 1 and 2. First-time winners were Veloce, followed by Acciona Science. Remember, they're all double headers this year.
And then it was on to a rather rainy Scotland for the Hydro X Prix, X44 Vida Carbon Racing and Veloce Racing taking the spoils there.
Yeah, Veloce with their second win of the season, looking really strong. On to Sardinia. We mentioned a minute ago, we've raced here every season. The start has caused carnage in the past. It's got that merge really fast this year. The course layout's been changed. It's going to be exciting. Theme is wildfires. And then we've just had it confirmed that round 4 will be in South America. All the details coming up soon. But very much looking forward to another fantastic new venue for Extreme E.
And we continue the final double-header into Chile for the Copa X Prix. Absolutely stunning mine there. The Antofagasta region is going to be breathtaking.
Sardinia then, another double-header. We're at the midway point in the season. Rounds 5 and 6 this weekend, so we should have a better idea of how the championship lies when we leave here. An equal number of points up for grabs, of course, in the second half of the first half. And round 5 is the end of that first half. Nikki, great to have you back. Did you miss us when we were in Scotland?
Do you want me to tell you the truth? Or no,
I mean,
Scotland looked absolutely epic.
Yeah.
Wow, those guys did well. Treacherous conditions.
It was so
there.
slippery, yeah. We lost a session to fog. We've never lost a session to fog, so...
I mean, you couldn't have a more contrasting setting here. The Island X Prix is absolutely beautiful. Weather conditions are fantastic. The track is so demanding. And I cannot wait for the action to start.
Yeah, can't wait. Very much looking forward to it. So if you have missed any of the action so far, we're going to bring you up to speed with what's happened in rounds 1 to 4.
Season 3 of Extreme E began on the picturesque shores of the Red Sea in Neom, Saudi Arabia.
Hammer down now, release the handbrake. Oh, into the water! Oh my God!
Everything okay?
Yes, it does.
The fast, undulating terrain provided lots of challenges for the drivers, with Andretti Altequila crashing out 3 times in 2 days of racing.
No, not again! A third roll for Andretti!
Round 1 ended with a spectacular overtake from Kristoffersson in the final.
Johan Kristoffersson, the RXR machine, he's passed 3 cars already. Going to try and take the McLaren line around the outside.
However, a penalty for slow zone speeding ended up promoting Veloce into first. Brutal racing restarted the following day for round 2.
Alatia goes up the inside into the door, runs the RXR wide.
And it was ex-Drum and Sands that dominated the final for Acciona Sainz.
Acciona Sainz win their first ever Extreme E race here at Neom in Saudi Arabia.
Vamos la ya, hemos ganado la carrera.
The scarred landscape of a former coal mine put the teams to the test when Scotland played host to the chaotic Hydro X Prix, with round 3 immediately delivering the drama.
Contact and a roll, absolutely huge crash. Timmy Hansen going to pass McConnell, pushes him out wide, and RXR off the side of the road, Johan Kristoffersson.
In the final, Andretti Altekilat crossed the line first. But a post-race penalty spoiled the party.
We've got it, Chris. I got a 15.3 second penalty. Well done, well done.
Promoting X44 to the top step of the podium. Round 4 brought some of the worst weather conditions in the championship's history.
Now Gilmore into the barrier on the inside line. Scheider goes in really hard behind Gilmore, spin. Scheider's gone round, and that's Anderson. The App Cooper has gone into the drink as well.
The drivers had to battle the elements as much as each other up to the grand final.
Look at them sliding down sideways. Look at Kristoffersson, full opposite lock. Tanner Faust goes all the way around the outside in the Neon McLaren. That is a brilliant pass.
However, Veloce maintained their composure to take their second win of the season and reclaim the championship lead.
So after those first 4 rounds of the championship, this is how we stand. Veloce at the top of the table, double winners of course on 80 points. It's been a brilliant start to the season for Kevin Hansen and Molly Taylor. Matthias Ekstrom and Laya Sansa in P2 for Acciona Sainz on 69 points, and Rosberg X Racing P3 on 52. And this is where it gets really close.
Unbelievable. 2 points in it between Rosberg X Racing, X44 and GMC Hummer. It's so tight at this point in the championship, and this weekend we will be hitting the midpoint. So the championship title is very much going to be on everyone's mind. Ab Kruper down there in 9th position with 20 points. JBXE just 15 points so far this season. No podiums for them yet, but I'm sure that's what they'll be hoping for this weekend.
Yeah, going to be a big battle. I think anybody can take the win here. So we have a new reporter this weekend. Jo Ankia is down in the paddock. She's reporting for us from Sardinia.
We are here at the Island X Prix, down in the paddock. What an incredible location for rounds 5 and 6. And we're also excited because you may have heard we have the return of a legend. We have Sebastian Loeb here with us, pairing up with Clara Anderson in Abt Cupra this weekend, the reigning Extreme E champion. Sebastian, we're just so used to seeing you driving for X44. What does it feel like to be joining a former rival for the weekend?
It feels good. I think the team is really motivated. They are doing a good job. So I'm here to replace Nasser, and it's a pleasure to be here in Sardinia. It's a nice track. The car feels good, so at the moment everything is on the top for us.
Excellent. And you have competed in Sardinia before. You were on the podium last time. What do you think about the new course, and what are you hoping for this time around?
The course is good, but a lot of dust. So now with the new format, it's not just a question of speed, it is a question of luck at the draw. So we cannot really have a real plan. We will hope for the best for the start position, and we'll see what we can do.
Okay, and Clara, what does it feel like for you to be pairing up with such a legend this weekend, 9-time World Rally Champion and a reigning Extreme E champ?
Yeah, no, that's an honor, of course, and so far it's been going really nicely. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to the weekend. The practice has been going quite well, so now we have all the info needed to go out racing this weekend and hopefully score some good championship points.
Excellent. Well, we cannot wait to see how the pair of you get on. Thank you both. So that's the St. Helena mooring in. That's how we ship the cars from event to event around the world. I'm off now to meet a young superhero, another new addition to Extreme E for rounds 5 and 6, and potentially going forward with Carl Cox's team, Leah Block. She's a young talent and the daughter of the late Ken Block, who was the first man to drive the Odyssey. So Leah will be carrying on her father's legacy. So let's go through to the Carl Cox back of the garage. You can see Leah already there, focused, analysing her run so far. Leah, well, welcome to Extreme E. First of all, how excited are you to be joining us, and also a very, very tough challenge ahead for you?
Yeah, definitely excited to be here. Today was a challenge. I mean, it was my first ever practice on the track. I think it went pretty well. We have some things to figure out, as well as myself, you know, just confidence, but I think we'll be pretty good for tomorrow.
Excellent. Well, look, it's going to be amazing out there. Thank you so much, and we look forward to seeing you in action.
Thank you.
So excited to have Leah Block joining the championship. I mean, what a young talent, 16 years of age, and to be stepping in to the
alongside Scheider at Carl Cox. I mean, she's looking at this bit float of action here. I think she's going to be thinking, goodness me, what have I got myself in for? That, you know, Sardinia has been pretty brutal in the past. We've still got that merge down into waypoint number 2. There's actually one before waypoint number 1 as well. So there are 5 different lanes coming together in various different places. Some great action. You know, she's joining some legends in this series as well. Johan Kristoffersson, you know, multiple World Rallycross champion, Michaela Arlen-Kotlitsky, his teammate. It's been very hard to pick winners this year. It's just been so close.
Yeah, it's fantastic to see. And as you say, we're coming back into Sardinia for a 3rd time. So this is actually a track that these guys do know relatively well. But obviously it's a bit faster, wider, slightly smoother this year. So it's going to be interesting to see if the results from last year carry on again. But let's take a look at the last winners from last time's race, Veloce.
Viva Veloce, they take the win here at round 4 in Scotland.
Today was really challenging in a lot of ways because we had so long, you know, breaks and stops in the running because of so many accidents out on course.
Big hit for Emma
Gilmore. The wall. Big carnage in turn 1.
But to bring it home in that way and in those conditions, I think that's also a statement that we are able to act fast. And really, I mean, that finalist was for all the boys and girls working in the team, really to get that car back on track and making a great setup.
Kevin Hansen gets the whole shot first. Look at them sliding down sideways.
It's always a great feeling when you're in the switch bay and you see your teammate come in the first one down the hill into the switch lane. That's always a great feeling, but you know, you can't get too ahead of yourself. So Kevin gave the car to me in the perfect position, but then yeah, you're just trying to execute the job, particularly when it's slippery like this. You can do, you know, a small mistake with a big consequence. So all the ups and downs this weekend.
Look at the relief on their face. Top step of the podium for Kevin Hansen and Molly Taylor.
It's Veloce's home race, so to have so many of the team, but also some of our partners as well, and to have a bunch of the guys and girls from Eon over as well was really special. And I think they really got the full experience as well. They got all the highs and lows of motorsport.
I mean, to lead the championship is obviously great, and we're here to win the championship. So the more you know that is the goal and that you're comfortable with having that as your goal, the easier it is to actually just enjoy leading the championship.
Kevin's got a really good saying about pressure. What's pressure for?
Pressure is not for persons, it's for beer and turbo. This weekend was really special because both our parents was here, mine and Timmy's. Such a boost to have them here because they follow us super closely every time we are here, and they, it's such an adventure, and to be able to welcome them into the paddock, it was really nice. And I think for both of us to cross the finish line first this weekend, I really hope we're making them proud, because that's at least what I'm trying to make in my career, that they have done everything for me, and I really put their lives into my life and my career, and without them I wouldn't be anywhere. So I really try to make them proud and to wave our name very high. I know my father wants me to say this because my grandmother passed a few weeks ago, and for him she was everything. So in that way it was really nice to have both the brothers cross the finish line first.
Our whole team is rented a castle in Scotland, so we have this incredible castle that we're all staying at. I think there's a big hog roast going on tonight, so I think we're going to eat like kings and queens.
Yes, well, I mean, it's going to be absolutely off the records, so I'm pretty excited.
As you might know by now, Extreme E is a sustainable event focused on the environment as well as on these amazing cars. Well, we're going to be telling you today about the NOA hydrogen fuel cell. This creates the power that charges these electric Odyssey 21s. Here we are around the back of the garages. Plenty going on here. Engineers, Fraser McConnell's laundry just got hung there. This is where the drivers get to chill down, to cool down. You see this paddling pool here, which I might take a little dip in myself a bit later. Now, there are plenty of innovative solutions around the Sardinia site. You can see also the solar panels here, part of the energy power grid that powers so many things here. And over here, the NOA hydrogen fuel cell. Now, this is what creates the power to fuel the electric Odyssey 21s. Here's how it works. Hydrogen is the most abundant element in the universe, and it's mainly found in water. To extract it, we split molecules, and we do this using electricity. Then we mix the hydrogen with oxygen in a fuel cell, which comes into contact with a catalyst, producing electrons which can be stored in a battery used for power later on. And the best thing about it is that the only byproduct to come from the hydrogen fuel cell is water, and we use it to wash the cars.
A sport built for purpose, each of Extreme E's race locations are chosen carefully based on the story that they tell about climate change. Whether it's racing by Greenland's melting glaciers or on Senegal's beaches, which are being affected by rising sea levels, the championship is hoping not only to show the issues facing these regions, but also the solutions out there. Here in Sardinia, soaring temperatures have resulted in wildfires plaguing the region. Let's find out what XE are doing to make a difference.
What we're seeing every day is a climate emergency that has been created from us as humans because of carbon emissions that are going into the atmosphere from industry, agriculture and transport. And this is creating the changes we're seeing on our planet. So these conditions created through climate change are the ideal conditions for wildfires to take off, and that's what we're seeing across the globe. In 2021, the Italian government estimated that Italy alone produced 320 megatons of carbon dioxide. So whilst this is a lot, globally, wildfires produced over 1,000 megatons of carbon dioxide emissions just in the month of August in 2021. Just in 1 month, that's 4 times the amount that Italy produced in the entire year. So not only do wildfires contribute to additional carbon dioxide in the environment, they also cause a decrease in habitat here in Sardinia. And this means that pollinators such as bees have got less habitat to live in. We're now entering a new crisis, the pollinator crisis. Over 37% of bee species across the globe are declining. And this has a fundamental impact on our food security, as plants need these bee pollinators to be able to produce the food that we eat. 75% of leading global crops depend on animal pollination, animals like bees. In fact, a world where we no longer had our pollinators, we would lose about 50% of all of our available fruit and vegetables that we rely on as humans. This is a really dire situation, and we need to do everything we can to avoid this happening. That's why this year, here in Sardinia, Extreme E is teaming up with the local NGO MedSea to replant trees and shrubs that are nectar-rich, which will allow the bees to thrive in this new environment and give them that ecosystem and food for the future. Reversing the damage done by climate change is vital for the survival of the planet. We know it, and we know that pollinators are one of the most critical aspects of our balanced ecosystem.
Here we go then, another look at Sardinia. Those lanes at the start, that is absolutely the highlight, the most important part of this track, where we've seen all that contact over the 3 years we've been coming here. Saw a roll for Gilmore once, we saw Cristina Gutierrez off into the rocks, we saw that huge crash between Sainz and Johan Kristoffersen last year. That's the Continental Traction Challenge across the back there, Nikki. And then the course is a lot shorter than it was last year. They come back to the paddock more quickly because this year, of course, they're doing 2 laps for each driver.
Yeah, critical points available for that Continental Traction Challenge. It really can make a difference to the championship lead. But there you are, you know, we're coming back round to the start. And the start is going to be a defining point of the race. Splitting into 5 different lanes, it really does make a huge difference where your starting position is going to be.
Yeah, it certainly does. And the random draw for that one, some of the teams very happy with where they've ended up, some not so much. We're hearing that lane 3 is the favoured lane off the start, but that doesn't mean that the driver in lane 3 gets to take it, because if somebody else gets a better start, they'll just shut the door on them. And that was what we saw with Gutierrez a couple of years ago. Timmy Hansen moved across, hit Sarah Price, she hit Gutierrez. It's like a chain reaction. So yeah, going to be interesting.
Yeah, let's remind ourselves of the format of XE to anyone new to the sport.
Extreme E is a fully electric off-road racing championship consisting of 10 world-class teams made up of 1 male and 1 female driver. In each session, both drivers will compete behind the wheel of the Odyssey 21 electric SUV, with a driver changeover, the switch, halfway through. Each driver gets an Inoa hyperdrive boost in every session, and there are bonus points for the fastest team through the Continental Traction Challenge section of the course. First up, it's qualifying, where everybody races twice in a bid to finish as high as possible in the qualifying standings. Then it's time to earn some championship points. From qualifying, the bottom 5 teams go into the redemption race, while the top 5 proceed to the grand final and compete to win the Prix and lift the trophy. It's a season-long battle. 10 rounds, 1 champion.
It's almost time for Q1, Heat 1 here in Sardinia. And luckily, the winds since free practice yesterday have calmed down a little bit. I'm here in the paddock, X44 Vita Carbon Racing, right here behind me. Fraser McConnell, how are you doing? You did exceptionally well in Scotland at the last Extreme E, got your first win. So how confident are you going into this?
No, it was very good. Not just me who got the win, it was Christina as well and the whole X44 Vita Carbon Racing team. So everyone is super excited for this round. The track is looking really good, super fast. Something we haven't done this year, and it's going to be a new challenge for the team. So going to go out there 1 race at a time and enjoy it.
And this is your first time racing in Sardinia, but you've got a very experienced teammate here, Cristina Gutierrez. What advice has she been giving you, or what have you noticed so far in your free practice?
Yeah, no, this is going to be her 3rd time here, my first time. I was here last year as a championship driver. It was actually my first event as championship driver with Extreme E, so nice to be back on familiar ground, but it's going to be a lot different racing on it, and I'm going to go out there and give it my all.
Excellent. Well, Fraser McConnell there will have his first race in Sardinia as an Extreme E competitor. Moving on here, we've got Rosberg X Racing, who did incredibly well at Sardinia last year. They are 3rd in the championship at the moment, 28 points off the leader, so it will be an important weekend for Rosberg X Racing. And I have found Michaela Arlen-Kotelinski. So Michaela, first of all, last season, Sardinia, you really stole the show with that incredible overtake to win on the final day. How much confidence, how can you draw from that experience going into this weekend?
First of all, thank you. No, I mean, having a good feeling and confident from last year, just like you say. However, it's a new year, it's a new track, so we need to work on that. And Johan has a good starting position. Totally faith in him and in the team, so we'll just take it from there.
Okay, and championship-wise, our XR are 3rd, 28 points from Veloce. How important is this weekend, therefore, for you both?
I mean, all the weekends are important to get as many points as you can. So definitely, you know, get to the final, take important points. In the long run, of course, you know, we want to take back the championship and win that. But we're doing our best step by step, and yeah, do our best.
The course has changed slightly this year. It is shorter, 2 laps for each driver. You've been out there for free practice. How brutal, how tough are the conditions of this course this time?
It's very quick this year. I mean, it got quicker last year already compared to the first year, so it's a super quick track. And just like you're saying, it's 2 laps. It will be tight racing, some overtaking opportunities. So I think there will be really exciting racing.
Okay, and how's Johan feeling? How's he been, and how were the runs with him yesterday?
Good. I mean, obviously in FP2 we didn't make it through the whole free practice, but FP1 felt good, working on from there. And I mean, yeah, you know, we're here to do our best and do our work.
Fantastic. Well, we wish you the very best of luck. It is going to be an epic set of racing. Q1, Heat 1 coming up.
Well, here we go then. That is a look at the paddock, and bottom of your screen you can see the cars are on the grid already for the race. We're a few minutes away from getting started.
You can also see just how wide the track is at the start,
yeah,
but then how narrow the track becomes. You know, there really is only enough room. It's a single lane track.
Yeah, I think the start, I'm trying to think back to last year. I think the start is probably wider. But as you say, there's more. Look at the lanes. You can see the dark-coloured lanes. There's kind of 6 choices, aren't there, heading off the start. So you split off to the left. I don't think anyone will go left, Nikki, because I think it looks longer. We've got a track map here that we've been looking at, and I think you're looking more at the lanes to the right-hand side. So I think we might see the funnel before they get into the lanes.
Yeah, absolutely.
But if you lose the start, why not take a different lane? You know, if you've already lost the start, you might as well head across and try a different route. But the drivers will all have done enough of a recce to know which one of those is the fastest.
Yeah, those kind of lane 2, 3 and 4 would be best get into the third lane. And yeah, we've got the Anoa Hyperdrive, which is that extra boost of energy for 4 seconds during the course of the race. Once a session, each driver can activate that. So some crucial extra energy there,
yeah,
which has got to be really used a strategic part of the race, usually to make a pass.
Yeah, very much, yes. So you can use it either to make or defend a pass. The other time, of course, we see people use it is in that Continental Traction Challenge now. It starts at gate number 3, so sector 3 is where it starts from. I'm just looking up to see where it ends.
I think it's
number 9.
6.
Number 9 apparently. So
all the way through,
yeah,
to number 9. Wow,
yeah.
so it's basically almost over a third of the track.
Yeah, it's a fair old distance, certainly. That was the Santa Elena. There is the grid, but we're going to head down to the command centre, and we're going to be able to have a catch up with Cristina Gutierrez, I believe. Cristina, can you hear me down there in Sardinia? How are you?
Yes, I'm fine. Little bit nervous now because we are nearly ready, but we can go to start.
How does the start look? It looks to me to be wider for longer than last year, so I think the merge might come before you get to the lanes.
Yeah, we have a lot of options in the start. It will be very interesting to see what is going on, and after that, everything can happen because it's wider, but also it's much more fast than last year. So we want to see what happened.
Cristina, just quickly, what are the conditions like this morning? What's the weather like?
It's very hot, humid, and a little bit of less windy than yesterday, but still windy. And we'll see because it's very hot.
All right, wishing you the very best of luck. Go and send it for us. Put on a show.
Thank you so much.
Fantastic. So that's Cristina Gutierrez, who is Fraser McConnell's teammate, right-hand side of the grid as you're looking at it, the X44 machine. It's quite strange, isn't it, to have Sebastian Loeb here, not in the X44 squad, because he was Cristina Gutierrez's teammate until Fraser took over this year. There is Fraser McConnell, Jamaican driver.
1 minute. 1 minute, please.
Absolutely, but I'm sure Ab Cooper are very happy with their signing of Sebastian Loeb for this weekend. There we are, the drivers getting focused. 48 seconds to go before racing gets underway.
I love the fact Gutierrez said she was a bit nervous. You know, that feeling. This is one of my favourite bits of the weekend, is everybody just getting ready. We saw McConnell a minute ago flexing his fingers, getting himself ready. Christopherson is so laid back, it's ridiculous. But you can just see he's now getting himself into race mode.
Bit of deep breathing.
Yeah, just
like
full
that,
focus mode. Sebastian Loeb.
Sebastian Loeb. Got in a rally car with him once, and he told me off for not listening.
What a legend.
And it was true, because I was very excited. There we go. So that's how the grid is lining up. So it's in the middle there. It's Andreas Baccarat who got the prime position.
Right, here we go then. First race of the weekend about to get underway. Good start on the outside. Sebastian Loeb in the middle for Andreas Baccarat as well. Baccarat is side by side. Okay, McConnell's gone off to the left-hand side. 3 different routes. So McConnell goes left. It's Kristoffersson in the middle lane leading Andreas Baccarat. On the far side, it's Sebastian Loeb ahead of Timo Scheider. Look at the big bump in the background. We're seeing this for the first time, as you guys are at home. Whereabouts is McConnell at the back? So that left lane, he's going to come in really close between him and Timo Scheider. McConnell just slots in, but that middle lane it's exactly what we thought. It looks like the quickest one, doesn't it? Lane number 3.
Yeah, absolutely. But actually, I mean, for someone who's coming on the outside to manage to come back in and be in P4, that wasn't a bad move for X44.
No, that's what we said, isn't it? If you know you've lost the start, you might as well try something else. And McConnell now with good momentum, trying to find a way past Andreas Baccarat. Can't quite get it done there. You can see how much of the road they're using in the background. Somebody running wide as well, trying to find a way past. Scheider's getting roosted by both Baccarat and McConnell.
Kristoffersson, though, absolutely flying start there for Rosberg Racing. You know, already got a gap there of a second, so that's going to be a huge advantage to him over the next couple of laps.
Yeah, it is. Look at the visibility. The door's off the X44 machine.
Ooh,
so the right-hand door is off the side of the X44 car. That's going to see a fair amount of filth coming into that. This gives you an idea of what it's like out on the track. Bit of dampness put down to try and keep the dust away. And into the left-hander now comes McConnell. Look how much wider the track is as well. They're really able to move the cars around. So the drivers have all been saying how fast it is, and it really is quick this year. This is a very different track layout than we've seen in previous seasons in Sardinia. Sebastian Loeb, P2 for Abt Cupra. He'll be handing over, of course, to Clara Anderson. 2 laps for each of the drivers.
Yeah, they were saying the conditions, very nice little jump there, the conditions are much more like a sauna, so it's still very, very damp in the atmosphere. The track clearly hasn't dried up, so that's just going to prove difficulty when it comes to visibility. I can't believe what's happened to that door.
No,
I mean, he didn't make any contact with anyone, did it? How is it hanging off?
I have to say, I'm really not sure either. I didn't see anything that was particularly obvious about it. There's another section of bumps through here. All the while we look at this, we're trying to figure out as well where people might use that in a hyperdrive. They may use it in the Continental Traction Challenge to try and get that. Here, this is the start of it here, where you can see the Continental signs in the background. So that's waypoint number 3, which is a 90-degree left-hander. And then they run down this back section. There's a little dip through there. On board with Kristoffersson. Look how relaxed he looks. It's ridiculous, isn't it?
And remember that the Continental Traction Challenge is a combined time. The quickest female and male driver from the team over the course of the day. So it's a combined time that you're looking at.
So we're hearing that there might have been a bit of contact between Carl Cox, Motorsport, Timo Scheider and Fraser McConnell. So we must have been looking elsewhere at that time, Nikki. We'll have to keep our eyes more wide open, won't we? That's the thing, when they head off down the different lanes like that and then coming together late. So maybe that's why the door is off. Sebastian Loeb, I mean, it's what we expect, isn't it? He's immediately on the pace. Don't forget, he did a couple of seasons in these cars. It's not like he does, you know, he's only missed, in effect, 2 events, the first 2 events this year. On board with the legend now, 9-time World Rally champion. Still absolutely a beast in any car that he gets into, he really is. I'd love to have seen him get that shot in F1 that was rumoured all those years ago, and the whole super licence thing spoiled it, and it wouldn't have surprised me at all to see him do something very special. Into the switch zone already. Loeb closes the gap down. So Loeb closes the gap down there on the brakes. Kristoffersson looks in his mirrors, has a quick look across. Loeb down at the wheel, getting everything set onto the pit lane limiter. Right, let's take another look at the start. So McConnell was going that way all the while, wasn't he? He was just going to take that route, whatever. And Kristoffersson has the inside line on Baccarat. There's just that slight left-right. That far left lane look is straighter, but it's bumpier, Nikki. You see the bumps here? We're looking for the contact between X44 and Carl Cox. Is it here? No, it's rear quarter, isn't it, rather than door? Maybe it'll be... OK, not sure.
Maybe a question for afterwards.
You can hear Loeb there saying to Clara Anderson, no big problem. So we didn't hear what he was talking about, but that's the drivers will all try and hand across that information.
Some top, yes, fine.
But yeah, reminder that they've only obviously done 4 laps so far in the practice session. Let's take a look at what actually happened. Here's the contact.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, it's pretty significant, isn't it? It was later on in the lap than the start. On board, look at the mud and the visibility. So there is Leah Block making her debut in Extreme E, glances down at the steering wheel. She's competing this year in Nitro Cross in the NRX Next category. She competed in side-by-side last year in Nitro Cross, so she's well versed in off-road motorsport. I'm really excited to see how she can do here. She was immediately on the pace, Nikki, a few weeks back in Mid-America and on her first outing in the NRX Next category, and I'm hoping she's going to be straight on the pace here as well. But you know, all these drivers have got a lot more experience than her in the car, and she'll be here and keen to learn this weekend as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is obviously huge pressure on her because it's the first qualifying race for her in the Odyssey 21 car. Only a couple of laps put in yesterday, so it really is a massively new beast, a new challenge for her to get to grips with, and there's not much of an opportunity to put practice in beforehand, but already you can see she's doing a phenomenal job.
So we know a hyperdrive for Gutierrez. Gutierrez going to try and make a move on Hedda Hozos here, comes around the outside up into this left-hander and does get the pass done. That is a brilliant piece of racecraft for Gutierrez to come around the outside. She just backed it in and shut the door. Really nicely done. So that's good to see hyperdrive can be used there. Hozos has used it as well, and see where that happened. That door is just about hanging onto the car. Leah Block on board now. The last thing she drove was the Huna Pegasus, which was an incredible Porsche, which her father, the late great Ken Block, was going to run up Pikes Peak. And this year, Leah did a demonstration run at Pikes Peak in it. Oh, and that's a flag down. Gutierrez has knocked the flag down. That'd be a penalty for sure. So she's all over the back of Leah Block, but taking a flag down. If you clip a flag, it's not necessarily investigated, but if you knock it down, it's definitely a penalty. She's all over the back of Leah Block.
Yeah, Leah Block, I mean, she's got some brilliant mentors, that's for sure. Tanner Faust, Travis Pastrana, and obviously now with Timo Scheider, giving her all the encouragement and the right advice to be able to bring that performance today.
Yeah, certainly. Doing really well here. So it was Ken Block, who first drove the Odyssey 21 competitively. I think it was in the last stage of the Dakar Rally, if I remember correctly, and he set a very competitive time. I can't remember whether it was P1 or P2, but if he'd been in the rally, it would have been right up there. And I think it was the first time that everybody looked and went, OK, this Extreme E is a serious thing. You know, the car's fast. It was as fast as the prototype Dakar cars are. And it was Ken Block who agreed to do that, went out and apparently worked incredibly hard that weekend to get the job done. You know, in from America, straight into the car, got it done on the Dakar Rally. So it's great to see Leah Block. And now Leah uses her Renault hyperdrive. So this is defensive Gutierrez behind her. Gutierrez, we know, used the hyperdrive on that very same section of track, of course, on the previous lap. Out front, look at the pressure in the background. So Gutierrez can't quite find a way past Leah Block. And remember, she's almost certain to get a penalty for that drop flag at waypoint 10.
You can still say, you know, it's great that we can see her race and, you know, they've got open helmets. She still looks very relaxed, considering.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is like hardcore racing.
I couldn't agree more, and it's her debut. You know, remember that Gutierrez behind her is, is champion in this very car. You know, she's done 2 whole seasons in it. This is Leah Block's first competitive outing with other cars around her on track. They had 3 practice sessions yesterday, but that's 1 car at a time. Leah is used to, you know, side-by-side contact over the line. RXR take the win, so great job by Arlen Kotlinski. We didn't see much of them on this second lap. Arlen Kotlinski P1 and P2 is Clara Anderson for Abt Cooper, taken over from Sebastian Loeb. And I think Leah Block's going to get P3 on her debut. So over the line, Leah Block gets 3rd place with Timo Scheider for Carl Cox Motorsport. I think that's a pretty solid debut. Should be pleased with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Can't complain with a P3. And remember, this is obviously, they're fighting in this qualifying 4 position into that grand final. No points up for grabs unless you win your qualifying race.
Look at the mud inside the cockpit. Look, all down the right-hand side here. You're on board with Gutierrez. The right door is as good as missing. Yeah, we often talk in racing about the door being open. It's well open on this car, and we don't look at that.
Is it still clinging on?
Yeah, hanging off the side of the car, and the car is absolutely covered in mud. because, of course, she was so close behind Leah Block trying to find a way through. So the screen inside there we go. There's a nice clean interior look for RXR, who were out front. And I don't even think the car's going to need a wash, to be honest.
And the driver.
Oh, it will. It will. OK, my bad.
I think everyone needs to have a shower down after that race.
Yeah, the paddling pool didn't look that inviting, did it? I'm afraid there was a fair bit of dust in the bottom. Now, someone's going to end up in it, aren't they? That's a given. But Gutierrez did say it's very hot out there. I think we were looking at around 30 degrees. Well, yeah. So it's saying 39 degrees at the minute, 32% humidity, and only 3 kilometres of wind speed.
Yeah, because actually, although the drivers do look very relaxed, they actually, you know, even after doing only a couple of laps, they're kind of out of breath.
Yes.
And that's got to be, obviously there are the physicalities of driving these cars on these kind of tracks, but also just the sheer exhaustion from the temperature.
I'm going to take a look at Gutierrez's pass earlier on, as you see Leah Block pulling up outside Carl Cox Motorsports 10. Here is Gutierrez getting out of the car, but this was the move. So she used her Inoa Hyperdrive about now. Hedda Hozos in the JBXE machine was on the inside line. Look at this, she comes in and just rotates the car beautifully through that slippery left-hander, and then she gets up behind Leah Block. Now watch for the flag, it was 10 that she took down, so it's a few corners after this. Here it is, she's on the inside line and boom. That's yeah, that's not even questionable, I'm afraid. As a driver, you always want to think, oh, it's under investigation, but that one's, there's no investigation to be had there. Look at her visibility, to be fair, and she's trying to pull the car away from the apex there, but can't. You know, just too close to the inside line. If you get the car turned in too much, you can do things like pull the handbrake and effectively suck the car away from that inside line, make it run wide, but she couldn't get it to run wide enough, and the flag went under the front left.
Right, well, let's take a look at the results from that session. So it's McDonald and Gutierrez there in 5th position, Baccarat and Hosas in 4th, Schneider and Block in her first race, finishing 3rd. Sebastian Loeb, who's back with Anderson in 2nd for Ab Cupra, and it's Kristoffersen and Arlen Kotolinsky who take the win in today's first qualifying heat. They'll be very pleased with that result.
Good stuff from the first race then. So the merge is very different to last year. Last year there was 2 lines which merged at almost exactly the same place, and I'm sure we'll see, you know, as people get more wheel spin or less wheel spin and choose the different lines, that there will be some close contact. But okay, Gutierrez, who down that flag, is down in the paddock now, and Jo Anke is with her. Let's see what she's got to say about that.
Oh, Christina, not quite the result you were hoping for, of course. Now, I know it wasn't you, it was Fraser on the first leg, but do you know what happened, how we ended up with the door coming loose like this?
Yeah, I was watching the television when Fraser had this problem. Timo went over the door. I don't know exactly what happened, because after that I need to run to my change. And after that I was really surviving, because the wiper stopped in the middle of my last lap, and it was impossible to overtake Leah. And it's like this, sometimes works, sometimes not. We had a little bad luck today, and we see the next race.
Okay, well, Fraser, it was an unfortunate first race out there for you. Little contact with Timo, was it? Tell us what happened for you from your perspective.
Yeah, we had dealt the cards we were given for the start, and had to work with that. But yeah, there's some really heavy contact during the race there from Timo, so haven't seen anything under review from the steward. So if that's how we're going to race, we can race like that.
Okay, well, that was your first race in Sardinia. Good luck for QT.
Thank you.
Well, a little dig there from Fraser. If that's how we're going to race, then that's fine. So he was obviously expecting that there would be something under investigation. There isn't anything on. Are we seeing a dropped flag? No, sorry, that's the same one. No, there is another drop flag that's under investigation. But yeah, so I think he would have liked Timo to be under investigation. He says, well, if you're not going to investigate that, that's fine. We can race like that. That's good for us, Nikki, and good for everybody at home.
Exactly. We like it. Bit of competition. Make it spice things up.
Yeah. I think, is that another flag? I think it is, yeah. So that's looking, okay, well, look, they're already in P5, so actually it doesn't make any difference whether they get another 10-second penalty or not. But not the start they would have been looking for. In P4 in the standings at the minute, 1 point behind RXR. Remember, you get a point for winning your race.
So there we have it. That's how the qualifying results look, with Kristoffersen and Arlen Kotolinsky with 10 points from that. Loeb and Anderson on 8, and it's McConnell and Gutierrez with, yeah, an unfortunate start to the day, down on 2 points. But that is not over yet for qualifying one, because we've got Heat 2 coming up in just a few moments' time. Be really interesting to see how the second lot can do, and if they can learn anything from what they've just watched in Heat 1, and what lines they take for the start of that race. Are we going to be seeing them all again aiming for that third row?
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see when it's always nice to be in the second one and get the chance just to take a look and see what everybody else does in the first run. They've got, of course, more points up for grabs later on, both championship points and qualifying points. So just for a bit of clarity, they basically get 10 for the win. If you were to win another race in Q2, then that's pretty much guaranteed the top qualifier spot. So you get a championship point for winning, but it's those qualifying points that put the teams into order. So the top 5 go through to the grand final, and then the bottom 5 through to the redemption race. Double headers, remember, so 2 qualifying sessions and then finals later on today. And then do it all again tomorrow.
Yep, so the cars are back into the garage. Time for a bit of a charge. A bit of juice going into the tank, ready for the heat later this afternoon. And there is the St. Helena, which is how the cars get around the world. But now let's go down to Jo, who is with Leah Block. Find out how she's doing.
Well, Leah, third place in your first race in Extreme E. What a stunning opening race. How did you feel about it?
It was good. I mean, coming out of the switch zone, we had an advantage for sure. I took the straight line, got out of the dust a little bit, and kept the 2 behind me, so it was pretty good.
Were you aware that there was some contact before you between Timo and X44?
Yeah, I didn't see it happen, but I did see like the carnage of it. Yeah, hopefully that's not going to do anything to us, but.
Okay, and in terms of the track, obviously your first time racing out there, how fast is it out there and how challenging is that racing?
It's pretty challenging, yeah. Good thing they watered because it would be way too dusty, but definitely all those little kickers you have to watch out for while you're wheel to wheel with someone, but it was really fun.
Oh, well, congratulations, really well done, and I'm sure it's only going to get better for you from here. Congrats.
Thank you.
Yeah, great to see.
Were you like that at 16?
No, I was not. No.
Amazing.
Oh yeah,
amazing.
Yeah, she's great. Honestly, they're
So
a lovely
mature.
family. They really are. So yeah, it's great to see Leah in the car. I'm sure Mum Lucy will be watching if she's not on site with Leah, and she might be. I'm not sure, but yeah, I know Lucy will be watching. So hello, Lucy, and also Leah's brother and sister, who I'm sure will be joining in cheering for her. There's going to be a ton of people watching. So yeah,
well, I think Carl
fantastic.
Cox as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Is watching on, looking very happy about his new signing, that's for sure.
Yeah, great stuff from Sardinia. Another heat race coming up. So this is a look back at some of the action from Heat 1. Really good start by Loeb on the outside. In the middle, look, it was so equal between Backwood and Christopherson, but because that corner goes left first of all, the car that's on the left of those two is going to have the advantage. If you look on the far side, you've got Scheider and Loeb. Look at the kicker there, and it's just enough to mean they can't carry quite the same pace. McConnell, look, has gone the long way round, and with it, there's a lot of extra speed as he comes in. Just gets in front, but I think the left route is too long, Nikki.
Interesting, isn't it? So we'll be able to see whether the teams put that into practice in the second heat of qualifying.
The one thing it does do is it keeps you safe through that first section, and by that I mean if you know you're on the far left-hand side of the grid and you don't get an absolute banger of a start, you know, where you can just sweep to the middle of the grid, which is what you'd like. If you've got an average start, you can go that left way and hope, oh, there's the big contact in the background, look. So yeah, so I see now why the door came off. It was a fair old hit.
But it's again interesting, look how narrow the road gets at this point. Yeah. You know, the track really is only about a car width away, so you can see why, if you are going alongside, contact is going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. You're going to have to get in a line, aren't you? There are certain places where you've got to be in a line to be able to get through the course. Look at that, comes in, swings the car in, nearly loses the door. Once it's in neutral, then you can do the switch. The switch is 45 seconds. We didn't see much of it. We were taking a look back at some of the stuff at the start. But here, look, hinges are off, ripped off the door completely because they're top hinged. You know, they're gull wing doors, they're top hinged doors. So it was really being held on just by the latch at the bottom.
Unbelievable. It was very well played. I'm glad it didn't come off during the course of the race, that's for sure.
We have seen it before. Ekstrom lost a door. I'm pretty sure that was here as well, thinking about it. Ekstrom's up in the next one, actually. He's up for Acciona Science, of course. There's that first waypoint flag that came down when Gutierrez was trying to find a way past block.
So now it's sort of interesting that what Leo was saying, that they've actually dampened the track to try and reduce the dust, which has helped a bit.
Yeah.
Not much.
There's a little bit of mud now instead of dust, yeah. But it's good. It makes for great racing. Slightly slippery conditions, better visibility for everybody, less dust out the track. Yeah, it's good. It's a good call. Look how slippery that braking zone is. I think that's into the switch zone. So this is the finish. They'll go to the jump.
But great to see a nice, clean race, other than a door hanging off. You know, good way to start the weekend.
Good start to the weekend, yeah, definitely. Super clean for those guys. You could basically, the fact that the RXR car was in the tent on charge about 3 minutes after the race, that's what you want. You know then you don't have any work to do on the car. You can just chill, look at the strategy, look at the lap times, and go, okay, what we're going to do differently in Heat 2. So Q2, sorry, later on in the day. Great job by RXR. So we are riding on board here with RXR from the start. This is up through those lanes. At this point, you know that Kristoffersen has already got the lead. On his right are Scheider and Loeb, but at this point they have to back off because of the bumps, and coming in from the left will be Fraser McConnell about 50 metres behind him. But the key thing here, Nick, is look at it, clear sight of the road ahead, no mud on the screen, no dirt up. He can pick his braking point and keep the door shut on the inside. You want to get that whole shot.
Yeah, and as you say, it's a bit flatter than the track on the right-hand side, so it really is the one to go for.
This is a good proper driver's eye view, isn't it, from the top of the car here? It's fast, isn't it? It's really fast and smooth. It's less bumpy than we've seen in previous seasons. The venue in Sardinia is an Italian army testing ground, which is why the venue changes. Of course, we used the tank ranges in the UK as well for a race in season 1. So from year to year, of course, things will change at the venue. The characteristics, the first half of the track is very much like it was last year, and then say a little bit of a shortcut to make the lap a little bit shorter this year round. Well, the teams might be starting to feel the heat of the Island X Prix, but Neom McLaren, it won't feel quite the same back at base in the heart of the McLaren Technology Centre in the UK. This futuristic 24/7 laboratory has been the home of McLaren F1 for over a decade and has environmental sustainability woven throughout the building. The art of finding those fine margins in racing is normally top secret and locked away, so we were very lucky indeed when we were given an inside view into McLaren's testing.
Today we're here in Wales at Sweetlam, very famous ground here, home of 2 of the WRC Rally GB stages, and we're here to test the Neom McLaren Extreme E race car.
This window of testing is really important to us because we don't really get to do anything during the season with the car being away on the boat. So any opportunity we can take as engineers to get a much better understanding of the car is good. We've chosen this location because it's got quite a good challenging circuit in terms of the off-road sections that we want. It gives us a good sort of combination of the corners and straights, plus some of the suspension activity that we've been seeing at some of the races that we as McLaren have been taking part in.
When you test, you're able to get a lot of data on, and then when you get to a particular surface, which is different obviously every round, you're able to anticipate what setup changes should be made before you even drive the Odyssey.
Having Tanner here, where we're away from the track, away from all the racing, all the pressure of getting points and like good qualifying position, that's really good for us because it means we can ask him some quite targeted questions. We've actually been able to work on some very different elements of our racing. So for example, we've done some starts, we've done some long runs, we've done some runs with sections that have kind of gone through the suspension activity, and we've got some very clean reads from him.
The smooth turns are really good for the balance, performance balance stuff. There's nothing that challenges the suspension at all.
I would say with Tanner, he's super, super smart. And the way he kind of describes things that are going on in the car, he does a lot of that to help an engineer visualize what's going on. Because as engineers, we can often look at the data and see stuff, but we don't really feel or have an empathy towards what the driver's saying. So he's good at getting that across to us.
In Extreme E, the driver's job is, I mean, we are in the car actually driving probably less than 30 or 40 minutes in a weekend. So our job is quite short. The hours and weeks and months that are put in behind the scenes really make the difference. There's only so much that is in your control when you come into a place where it's a fresh track. Nobody knows what the weather's going to be. Nobody knows how the cars are going to react to certain things. But everything that you do have control over, you have to maximize. While it's our job to avoid penalties, which can be difficult enough, it's their job to figure out how to not let opportunities slip through the cracks in performance. So we have people back in the UK, wherever we are in the world. We have our 8 people that we travel with, and Lena and Tina work amazing as a team for maximizing every opportunity. Sardinia is not a new track for a lot of people. It's quite rough, very sharp bumps. The racing is very aggressive, and there's a lot of multiple lines that go into a single line, so anybody's got a shot.
Well, tactics play a huge part in Extreme E. Championship points can come from a lot of different places. Now, the orange section of the track we're looking at here on the right-hand side of your screen, that's the Continental Traction Challenge, this part of the course where speed or time very much of the essence. Teams run through this all-important section can be where race events are won or lost on a tie-break. You'll see some teams base their entire race strategy around setting a good time here.
The Continental Traction Challenge is a designated section of the course where the teams can earn critical championship points by setting the fastest time through this sector in each round of the series. True to Extreme E's gender equal split in the driver lineups, the winner of the Continental Traction Challenge is the team with the fastest combined time of both male and female drivers.
X44 Vida Carbon Racing have nicked the Continental Traction Challenge.
Well done, Chris. Great race. That was amazing.
Drivers can post a time in any competitive session of the Prix, and the winning team will be awarded 2 championship points. With fierce competition in Extreme E's Paddock for Season 3 and a total of 20 points up for grabs across the 10 races, the Continental Traction Challenge is critical to any team's title aspirations.
X44, Vida Carbon Racing, they have the Continental Traction Challenge. That could prove crucial for this championship.
We are in full swing here in Sardinia as we look ahead to Q1 Heat 2. I'm joined by Laia Sanz of Acciona Signs. Now, Laia, you did very well in Saudi so far. You've had a win already this season. Tell me about Sardinia. We're back here again, and what do you want out of this weekend?
Yeah, it was a nice start of the championship, but of course in Scotland we didn't have the result we expect. So, but I think we are still in a good position to fight for the championship. We like this track. We were both fast yesterday, so hopefully we can have a good Q1 that is really important for Q2, and then obviously the goal is to get to the final, and then there everything can happen, but obviously we are looking for victory.
This track, it's even faster this year than last year. We do also remember Carlos Sainz Sr. and that merger at the beginning. What will be your approach in qualifying, trying to figure out which lines and how to take that fast course?
Well, we need to be good on Quali 1 because, you know, the grid position in Quali 2, it depends on the result on Quali 1. So it's really important, especially in this track, that will be, I mean, the lines are very different, so it depends on which line you are, you lose a lot of time. So we will try to be focused from the beginning, to push from the beginning and get to the final. That then, if you want to fight for the win, you really need it.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much. We wish you the very best of luck in qualifying. Acciona Signs, they're second in the championship. As mentioned, the importance of the start here in Sardinia. There are multiple lines that the drivers get to choose from. Hopefully no merger crashes this year. Conditions are a little bit better today than they were yesterday. We had a lot of dust at free practice coming up behind the cars. So that start is going to be really important to see which cars get to the front first. We're here now at Andretti, Katie Munnings, Timmy Hansen, who have a lot of experience here as well. Let's walk through the garage. They're still getting the cars ready and team meeting over here. Well, I've managed to find Timmy. Timmy, you've been doing very well this year, but Scotland got downplayed to second place. So what are you looking for, hoping to go one better here in Sardinia?
Yeah, I think Scotland, we were in great form. We did win the race on track, but you know, the penalty, it had nothing to do with performance. So I think we did do a great job, and we'll try to build on that form that we have here. Got the big boss here, Michael and Bill from the team, so it's nice to have them here supporting us, and we'll try to do the best.
Okay, excellent. Well, let's say a quick hello to Michael. Michael, if I can grab you here. Your team doing incredibly well here. They also had a race win, different format, of course, last time in Sardinia over the crazy race. What are you hoping the team will do for you this weekend?
Same thing, hopefully. That's the goal. That's why we're here. So, yeah, it's exciting for me. It's my first one, so I can't wait to see it all.
Excellent. Well, we wish you all the very best of luck. It is coming up very shortly. Q1 Heat 2. Don't miss it.
Good to see Michael Andretti down there, one of motorsport's greats. So checking out his first Extreme E race. Let's go down to Molly Taylor, one last time out in Scotland. Let's see how she's feeling. Molly, how are you doing? Describe to us the conditions. How are things looking this morning?
Hey guys, yeah, all good. Very hot. As you can see, they've had a little bit of water in the track, which seemed to help the dust, but that might be a little bit dry for us. So we'll wait and see what happens. But yeah, great conditions. The hotter the better out here. We love it.
What have you learned from that first qualifying session that you can use going into this heat?
Yeah, I mean, I think the lanes are obviously really important to get that track position early, but Kevin's a mega starter, so I got full faith in him, and yeah, we'll see what happens.
Great stuff. Keep up the good work, Molly.
Thanks, guys.
So Molly Taylor and Kevin Hansen have actually got the middle of the grid, so they're going to be very happy with that, because that's going to give them the third lane, and they'll be hoping for a perfect start from there.
Attention all teams, this is race control. Stand by for the start of the Island X Prix. Qualifying round 1, heat 2 is about to commence. Energize your systems and prepare to race.
So there is Amanda Sorensen with helmet on already. I think everybody now lidded up and good to go. Molly Taylor was the last of those, of course. We were a bit there. She's already, yeah, she's now ready to go as well. So it's a very short run, isn't it? And it's actually it's a fair old walk from the command centre down to the switch zone. Might be a bit nearer thinking about it. Yeah, the command centre, it's a little way from the start line, but it's close to the switch zone. But they're good to go, and so are the drivers who are down on the line. Tanner Faust in the McLaren, he's on the left-hand side of the grid. You then got Matthias Ekström. There he is for Acciona Science. The Hansen brothers are side by side. Kevin Hansen for Veloce in the middle of your picture there. To his right is his brother Timmy Hansen. Believe me, they will race very hard against each other. And R.J. Anderson on the far right-hand side of the grid. Here we go then. Their eyes are on those lights on the left and right of the grid. Look for that green and away they go. A lot of wheel sprint for everybody. It looks like everybody's used their Renault Hyperdrive off the start line as well. 3 cars going into that middle section. And it is Timmy Hansen who manages to get the whole shot through there. Out on the right-hand side, R.J. Anderson is flat out. Is he going to go quick over that bump? No, he can't quite. Has to back off. And he may try and slot in now. Kevin Hansen going to try and squeeze him out as well. They're side by side. R.J. Anderson has the inside line. Tanner Faust went the long way round, comes in with a lot of speed, but not enough. R.J. now goes to the right. He tries an alternate line there. Doesn't look to be any quicker, though. Up at turn 1. It is Timmy Hansen who takes the left-hander first of all. In the background, Tanner Faust looking to try and find a way through, but Hansen with the best of the starts there. Noah hyperdrive for everybody. Maybe not for Faust, looking at the graphic, bottom left of the screen, maybe not for the McLaren squad.
It was a really interesting tactic there. Faust took the widest line possible. He did come in with a lot of speed, but if he hadn't taken the hyperdrive, perhaps if he had taken it, he could have actually come out ahead.
Yeah, it's interesting that they all took it, wasn't it? I must say, we didn't notice in the first race. I'm not sure whether the graphic filed or not when they went off the line. Now Faust uses it. So this is Tanner Faust from the Neo McLaren trying to find a way past. Is he in the background trying to get through? They're line astern here, aren't they? Matthias Ekstrom, Kevin Hansen, Timmy Hansen. These guys have raced each other so many times in the World Rallycross Championship. Ekstrom now looking up the inside, but can't quite get there. Hansen keeps the door well shut. That's the flag that Gutierrez down in the previous one. Faust goes up the inside, but he takes the flag down at the same time. So Faust makes a pass on RJ Anderson, who sends the Hummer in a big old slide around the outside line. But Faust will almost certainly get a penalty for that. I'm pretty sure I saw the flag go down.
So frustrating there for Faust. That's the problem when these tracks get so narrow at certain points. You've got to be so mindful of the flags, because that can really cost you so much time during the course of the race. He's going to be absolutely gutted for that, but let's wait till it's confirmed. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it says it's under investigation. So, now Kevin Hansen is looking to try and find a way past Ekstrom. He's got good traction here. Ekstrom defensive. Hansen coming out from the outside to the inside to get a better exit, will he? But he doesn't carry the speed through. Ekstrom uses all the track width on the exit. Nicely done by him. So Timmy Hansen out front. You can see the drivers highlighted bright, other drivers who are in the cars. All the teams have elected to use their male drivers for the start in the first session. And remember, they have to alternate through the sessions as the day goes on. So it basically means it'll be the male drivers who are taking the start in the final. All the female drivers will be taking the start in Q2 later on today. Timmy Hansen there continuing to push right up the back of Ekstrom, really pushing hard, trying to make a move on him. Will he get it done using the full width of the course as well? Again, visibility not ideal for Hansen at the front there. He's got a nice, clean view ahead of him. Ekstrom looking down. Yeah, he's looking down at his wheel there, Nicky. A couple of times he looked down at the wheel. So if he's looking to change a setting mid-race, there's plenty of electronic settings that can be changed on the cars. So they've all used their Noah hyperdrive. Ekstrom is all over the back of Hansen. He's desperate to find a way through. Look, runs the car out wide and then in tight again. Looking to the inside line. He's trying to make Timmy drive on his mirrors, trying to make him make a mistake. Now look at the dirt up over the top of the screen. So that's for Ekstrom, but no problem for him. Still keeps it lit. Look at the speed through this left-hander. This is a really fast layout this year. It really is. Great to see the drivers able to push so hard on it. Faust in the background is still in front of Anderson. But I say that, locked wheels on the way in. It's slippery. Hansen looks down. He was looking down there. I don't know if he was looking to see whether or not he got the speed. The wheels were locked up on the way in. So did he manage to get it down to the pit lane speed limit before the entry board? I think he did. In the background, there's Tanner. Yeah, great pass, but just, he needed to lean on RJ a bit more, didn't he? Here it is on board with Tanner. There it goes over the top of the screen. Look how calm he looks with it in a car that's sideways, not going to flag down and door to door. Look, this is a view from looking back. Look at this. There it is. Brilliant angles there. Yeah, that flag's gone, hasn't it? It got sent. He did a little smirk to himself, I think. It was a bit of a inner emotion. If you're going to take it down, you might as well do it properly, Yeah. But I'm really loving this track. It's absolutely fantastic. I think just the nature of it is allowing the drivers to properly race wheel to wheel. I've never seen quite the amount of action that clean action, I should say. We're hearing Veloce got a puncture. They're working on the front left, it looks like, from the onboard camera there. You can see there it is, middle of your screen. They're changing the front left. That's a disaster for Veloce. They were in P3 for Kevin Hansen. Emma Gilmore, there it is. So it's Kevin basically trying to change the wheel. Molly's trying to put the net back on. They know they won't make it round with that puncture, so they might as well change it. That's impressive. He's getting involved and changing the wheel. Yeah, they're only allowed one mechanic in the switch zone with the driver, so if he doesn't help out, it's going to take him twice as long. So they'll have practiced it as well. Look at that. Nut gun done. As soon as that mechanic is out of that zone, look at that. They both get out at the same time, and that will release Molly Taylor to get back out. So championship leaders, Veloce with the puncture. Leaders of this race at the minute, Katie Munnings for Andretti, Alta Keelit.
And Marnix has got a big lead over Laya Sands. Acciona Sainz, Laya Sands is in the car, but she's gapped her big time. They're 3.5 seconds up the road. They were absolutely on the bumper when they left the switch zone together.
Wow, that's impressive. I mean, Katie Manning's there, obviously, so we saw earlier her team boss, Michael Andretti, here for the first time, so she's going to be looking to impress. I mean, they've had a tricky season so far.
McLaren still in the pits, so we can hear a nut gun again. Is that McLaren with the puncture as well? Well, they would have had that penalty anyway, which would be disappointing for them, or they're almost certain to get it. Look at the gap Mannix has got. This is brilliant. On board with Laya Sands. Sands looking really busy behind the wheel. Been very impressed by her this year. She's been bang on the pace everywhere. We didn't see if there was, you know, if it was something simple leaving the switch zone. Gaps up to 4.9. Katie is really pushing here. And it is a puncture we've had confirmed on the McLaren, so they are still in the switch zone. So Veloce and McLaren both managing to knock tyres off rims.
What a shame, and what a shame it's taken so long to change the tyre.
Yeah.
Because obviously you want to be out on track, even if it's not going to necessarily help you get a point in qualifying, but it's definitely going to help you get experience on track, which is only going to help throughout the rest of the day.
So Gilmore has now left the switch zone. You can see she's on the pit out section at the minute. You're on board with Molly Taylor, who's just had her wheel changed. One more lap to go. The gap is up to 6.7. So Andretti Altekilit, Timmy Hansen and Katie Munnings are absolutely flying here. It's great performance by Katie. She's driving away from Laya Sands. Maybe there's a problem for Acciona Sainz, but Katie is on a mission.
It's fantastic, because again, as we mentioned, this is midway point through the season. They're currently, Andretti Altekilit, on 29 points, so they've really got a bit of a gap to make up. Veloce leading with 80 points at the moment in the championship. Still plenty of time to bring home a championship title, but things have really got to start changing today, this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. They've been in the redemption race 3 times, but they made the final, of course, in Scotland, and when they made the final, they won, and there was all that joy, and then they got the penalty and were knocked further down. I can't remember what it was for. I think it was for speeding in the switch zone, and they dropped to P2. That's gutting, but it does go to show that the pace is there. You're on board now with Munnings. It's a fantastic performance. 8.3 seconds up the road from Laya Sands. Amanda Sorensen is in P3 at the minute, another driver I've been really impressed with this season. And then Molly Taylor, season 1 champion with Johan Kristoffersen when she was driving at RXR. And then she uses her Noah hyperdrive on board with her there. It's an extra 100 kilowatts of power for 4 seconds. You only want to use it somewhere where you can deploy it all. You can't deploy it bit by bit. It's a one push on the button and you go. Dry line there on the inside as well, Nick. You can see right up against the bushes. They're literally having to stick the nose of the car in the bushes. They want to be on that dry line. That's Tanner Faust's teammate Emma Gilmore coming round. They've still got a lap to go, and that is the checkered flag for Katie Munnings and Timmy Hansen. So win for Andretti Altekilit. 9 seconds up the road from Laya Sands, who crosses the line for P2. Acciona Sainz with Ekstrom. She takes a big sigh of relief, I think, as she crosses the line there. And now Amanda Sorensen will pick up 3rd for the Chip Ganassi Racing Hummer EV squad. 2 cars out on track. You can see the flags down at the bottom right-hand side of your screen there. So those little graphic flags give you an idea of where they are. So the Veloce is coming round to take the finish. Again, championship leaders, not what they would have wanted. And yeah, they're going to have to fight pretty hard to get through to the final. Looking at their results, they've only been in the redemption race once. They've had 2 wins and a P2. So Veloce have been having a brilliant season.
Yeah, I mean, it's not ideal, but at least they can afford to, you know, not have the best day.
Yes.
You know, with that lead, they've got a nice little bumper between them and Acciona Sainz through a second championship on 69 points. You don't want to do it every race, but they can afford it, unlike some of the other teams.
They certainly can. Emma Gilmore, after that wheel change, it took them a little longer, didn't it? Maybe they didn't realise it was an issue until later, or maybe they had a problem changing the rim.
Now, given the fact that this is mainly just for experience and getting to know the track, is this going to change Emma's approach to how she drives this, or is this still going to be flat out and furious?
I think from the gritted teeth, we can see it's flat out and furious, can't we? Right-hand side of your screen is the Continental Traction Challenge. That is the time of each of the drivers in the car added together through that section, their fastest times. So Acciona Sainz at the top at the minute from RXR and App Cupra. And that's what's used to split the team. So if they end up on equal qualifying points, then it is the Continental Traction Challenge, which is the tiebreaker. So for me, it doesn't really matter whether you're P1, P2, you've got grid play later on in the day, so you don't really, being top qualified doesn't really win you much. What it's really key for is who's P5 and who's P6. We've had 2 or 3 teams before on the same points, and one of those teams, if they're faster through the traction challenge, will just scrape it through to the final and could still take the win. If you're in P6, that's it. You're in the redemption race, and you're certainly not going to. You can't progress from there. Disappointing.
I know what's going through their minds.
Yeah.
Emma looked like she was really deep in thought there.
That's Katie's dad, Chris Munnings. Fantastic.
Absolutely brilliant. Well, let's hear from their team principal, Michael Andretti, coming into his first Extreme E race, and he's clearly bringing the team a bit of luck.
Michael, congratulations. You're a good omen. You've turned up, and your team have taken a brilliant win. What a drive by Timmy and Katie. You must be really proud.
Yeah, really proud. You know, obviously the start's important, and Timmy got a great start, and then, you know, Katie actually had the quickest lap. So, yeah, really good start.
She was absolutely flying, wasn't she? Timmy came under some serious pressure on that first lap as well from Ekstrom. Really nicely defended. Good, clean racing.
Absolutely, yeah. He did everything perfect, and you know, hopefully we continue the rest of the day that way.
Michael, obviously this is your first time at an E race. Just describe to us, are you enjoying it? What's it like?
Oh, it's everything I was hoping. You know, I've heard a lot of great things about it, and it's been a great experience so far. It's really cool the way they set all this up, and you know, it's pretty amazing. I mean, it's a big undertaking for sure, and I think they do a fantastic job.
If Timmy Hansen wasn't available for a race, could we persuade you to get in the car, Michael? You know, surely you fancy a bit of action in Extreme. Come on, we can persuade, can't we?
I gotta admit, it looks like it's a lot of fun for sure, but I've never really driven off-road, so I'm not sure it'd be fair to the team.
And it is your team. That is a fair point. Yeah, you don't want to give yourself a disadvantage. So obviously you guys are looking for the win here. Are you involved at all in the tactical side of the team? You know, obviously it's your squad, but do you just let the guys get on with it, or are you getting stuck in? Is it a learning process for you as well?
No, it's more a learning process for me since it is my first event, so I'm not getting in the middle of it. I'm not trying to screw anything up for them. They've done a great job, you know, since the beginning, and they have a lot more experience in this than I do.
All right, thank you very much. We wish you the best of luck for the rest of the day. It's a great start.
Thank you.
Fantastic. How great to hear from Michael Andretti on site. That is absolutely brilliant. Look how happy. Let's listen in.
I'm so much slower than the guy. I have no speed. I'm nowhere.
You won the race?
Yeah.
Don't take that away from yourself.
No, the race is good. Pace.
So Timmy's not happy with his pace. It's interesting, isn't it? You know, you take the win, and that's what you were talking about, what's going through their minds. That's what's going through Timmy's mind. He's like, look, we won. He's like, I'm not happy, the pace isn't good enough. And they're going to sit in front of that laptop and figure out where he's what he's not happy with. Here's Katie leaving the switch zone, look. She lights it up. There's a lot of dust for Laia Sands, and she takes a different route. So Katie, look, takes an unwatered route straight through the middle. That's actually, that's brilliant. So a really straight route through. Yeah,
and that gave her the advantage.
Yeah.
Very nice indeed. I do like how Katie told Timmy, like, it's all right, mate.
You won. You won.
You know,
yeah.
Come on, it's okay. Just enjoy the moment.
Just looking at the split time. So Munnings had the fastest sector 1. That might be, fastest lap was Katie Munnings, 1:45.3.
So was that a strategic move, or was that a bit of luck?
Look, leaving for, I don't think it was strategy. For me, I would be going through that dusty run definitely if you're leaving the switch zone, just because you might as well chuck the dust up in the face of the people behind you. Joe Ankia is down with Veloce. Let's see what they've got to say after that puncture.
Well, Kevin, for the championship leaders, it didn't quite open up your way. Front left tyre, was it? What happened?
Yeah, I mean, I was following the Andretti and Sainz car really nice the first lap, and the second one also I had a few goals of Matthias. He shut the door. So it was really fun racing, and I think we were quite a lot faster. But then coming up to waypoint 7 was just a little tight, nothing strange, and there was a massive rock that the organizer hadn't taken away. So we got a puncture, It was really fun doing the pit stop. I've never done that in my life. I'll be like a NASCAR mechanic, but we did a great job. Didi, our main mechanic, helped me in the stop, and he was just fantastic on that switch. So shame for Molly not to have a better position, but we'll regroup and try again in Q2.
Yes, and indeed you do have a big lead in the championship. So looking ahead to Q2, what did you learn from this that you'll be trying to do differently?
Not cut in 7, but no, I think Molly showed better pace, and we are quick. So we just need to get a good launch and see what we can do from there. We're not too worried about the speed, we're worried about turn 1, so like everybody else. So I mean, it's really exciting. We will try in Q2, and we want to get that grand final win.
Absolutely. Well, best of luck for Q2. Still in contention. Hopefully you can still make it through.
So here's a look at Kevin helping. Look, so he's picking up the tray with the wheel nuts in it here, and the mechanic picks the rim and the tyre up. Continental did a great job. The tyre is lighter this year than it was last year, but obviously it's a huge off-road tyre, and it requires a lot of strength in it to stop having things like punctures. Normally, we say puncture, to be honest, it's normally the drivers have pushed the tyre off the rim, and that's one of the things they have to watch out for is, how hard are they pushing against the ruts?
Well, let's take a look at the results for Heat 2. So, unfortunately, Faust and Gilmore there in 5th. Anderson and Sorensen taking 3rd, 2nd Ekstrom and Sand, but it was Timmy Hansen and Katie Munnings doing it for Andretti Al-Tequila. Still looking for a little bit of pace. Timmy not happy with how the car was performing, but Katie pleased with that result. And of course, Michael Andretti, he's got to be proud of that result. So this is how the results stand at the moment. Of course, you get 10 points for winning your qualifying heat. Christopherson and Arlen Kotolinsky, 10 points for RXR, and another 10 points for Hansen and Munnings.
That's the way they split into the second heat. So Q2 later on, Heat 1 and Heat 2, and you can see the winners. So RXR are in that first race. Hansen and Munnings are in the second race, but Ekstrom and Sandslook are going to be going up against RXR. I always look at these and think which one's the easier race, but with the list of names on the screen, there is no easy race. So it'll be RXR and Andretti Al-Tequila that are looking for the TQ, but you definitely can't count out at Cupra and Acciona Science. They're really close together, so going to be fascinating to see who can take the top qualifier spot here for round 5 of Extreme E. Right, let's look back at the start. So it was Faust, wasn't it, Nicky, who didn't use the hyperdrive, did we say? So he goes off to the left. Look at the right-hand, so your far left-hand side of the screen is RJ Anderson. Look how he's in front, but unless you can take this next bump there flat out, which it seems they can't, I don't think you can do it. But I wonder if we might see somebody risk it in the final. Would you risk it for a biscuit in the final? Do you just send it over that jump and see if the car can handle it? Obviously, you get it wrong, it's going to be a huge shot potentially, so it's a big old gamble. If you get the whole shot, you can get the win, and drivers do tend to do silly things.
And although, when you say that the line at Tanner Faust is a lot longer, it's clearly a bit drier, and he just did seem to come with so much more pace, even though he didn't take the hyperdrive. So it'd be interesting to see if he does it again, depending on his grid position.
Could you take the hyperdrive later? So as you come off the outside of that long right hander, could you take the hyperdrive as you come up towards the merge? Is it straight enough to use that extra speed? We've seen all the passes have been just prior to here, so obviously Tanner's just made that pass at waypoint 10. Now, Gutierrez took the flag down and Tanner took the flag down. There it is, but it's obviously a really strong passing point is waypoint 10. It's a tight left, so we've seen 2 passes there, but nobody's pulled it off clean yet. Nobody's managed to pull the pass off without taking down the waypoint marker. So it's possible. You might have to lean.
Is it worth the risk?
Yeah, you might have to lean on the car outside you a bit more. Here's Katie Munnings coming out the switch zone, look, and she goes straight across this sandy section.
Line, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Look at the difference. That speed that she got up was absolutely phenomenal. I mean, that's a couple of seconds.
Yeah, I'm wondering if that's where that sector time is. So has nobody spotted it or thought of using it, or did they know it was there and they decided to go for it? So she's got the fastest sector 1. Matthias Ekstrom has the fastest sector 2, which I'm pretty sure is the Continental Traction Challenge. Timmy Hansen has the fastest sector 3, and Matthias Ekstrom has the fastest sector 4. The ideal lap, which is all the best sectors put together, is a 1:42.9, and we're a good couple of seconds off that. And that's that thing of the ebb and flow of a driver on a lap. If you could nail all those sectors perfectly, that's in theory the time that's possible, but doing it in one lap is a big ask. It's a
Yeah,
big ask.
also the calibre of these drivers, you know, they are up there. It is very much doable. It is possible. Now they know what they've got to achieve, and obviously the drivers will be looking at the lines that everyone else has been taking, what the competitors have been doing. They'll be learning in between these sessions, bringing what they have learned into the next qualifying.
Great stuff. Look, Katie Munnings on her way to take the checker flag. She was very pleased with the result, and rightly so. They're in a very strong position in terms of qualifying. Timmy Hansen felt there was more pace to be found. They'll be working on that, and we're looking forward to seeing what they can do in Q2 later on today. So Extreme is a championship which goes far beyond just racing, always striving to raise awareness for the bigger climate issues that our planet is facing. The championship shines a light on the solutions that are out there, and through the Count Us In initiative, the ways in which all of us in our daily lives can take small steps to help make a difference. There's some of the icons down in the paddock for the various different things that the championship is doing to try and make a difference.
Hi guys, I'm Kevin Hansen.
And I'm Molly Taylor.
And we're here to tell you all you need to know about Extreme E's project Count Us In.
The Count Us In challenge aims to make a difference to the planet by encouraging everyone to take a pledge and take a step against climate change.
In season 3 of Extreme E, each location we go to have a different focus for the Count Us In challenge. And in Sardinia, it's about using less plastic.
So we're here today to show you how Extreme E endeavours to use less plastic and how you can too.
So you might not know this, but on Extreme E races, we all bring our own cutlery and plates, and we wash them right here behind us. And during the 3 seasons so far, we've saved more than 1 million plastic items.
We also take our own coffee cups and water bottles to make sure we don't have excess plastic piling up. At the end of the season, the team with the most votes will win the Sustainability Award.
The Count Us In challenge is extremely important as we all need to work together to fight climate change.
So come and join us for a more sustainable future.
It's just fantastic to see, you know, just such small incremental differences can make such a dramatic difference when you add it all up over the course of a season with so many people. I'm sitting here next to my refillable water bottle.
Oh,
does
very
that count?
good.
I'm
It
doing my
does.
bit.
It does, Nikki Shields. Well done.
Thank
I'm
you.
very impressed.
Did you bring a knife and fork though?
No, I didn't bring a knife and fork. I have to say that's different rules here than there are in the paddock. But I definitely won't be using any single-use plastics today. Aren't we good? Jo Ankier is down in the paddock, and she is with Matthias Ekstrom. Ekstrom piled the pressure onto Hansen in that last one.
Oh, he did.
Well, joined by Matthias Ekstrom. So it was a really good start from you, actually, Matthias, wasn't it? You came out strong. You were hot on the heels of the leader. Talk me through how you feel about your 2 laps.
Yeah, the initial takeoff wasn't so good. So actually, I thought we had the best line, but we didn't get traction off the line, and Timmy had a way better start. So I followed him more or less my stint, and I felt I had more pace. But then suddenly I got some mud or some dust. I got a gap. Then I could push a bit, and we got a good time for the traction sector for the first run. So generally happy with things. Just we need to have a better starts to have the whole shot and leading up to flag number 1.
And the team seemed to lose some time during the switch. You came out of the switch with quite a gap off of the leaders. What do you feel happened there?
No, I think Laia was a bit conservative, maybe putting neutral in, but then after the exit, I think there was a lot of dust, and when you don't see here, you can't take the risk so early in the race. I think Laia was just taking it easy and being a smart girl and bringing it home P2, so I'm quite happy with her job as well.
Well done, solid start, thank you.
Thank you.
So Ekstrom felt that he had more pace. That's interesting, isn't it, Nikki? Because Timmy Hansen was saying that he felt he didn't have enough pace. Now, Timmy held him off, so it's obviously fairly tough to pass out there. But yeah, so okay, this is interesting. This is new.
Yeah, let's take a look at this. So this is, well, at the moment, the fastest females out there on the left-hand side, the fastest males on the right-hand side. And in a moment, we're going to combine those times and find out the perfect dream team. So Michaela Anhin Kotolinski there with a 1:50 compared to Sebastian Loeb for Ab Cupra on a 1:47. So that is your Zenith Dream Team, Loeb and Kotolinski together. Do you think they'd race well?
Yeah, why
Good
not?
Combination?
Why not? I do. Yeah, I mean, you know, Arlen Kolinski's used to racing with Kristoffersen, who's got a number of FIA World Championships, and Sebastian Loeb has a number of them as well. We must do a little add up at some point, because I think we've probably got an enormous amount of FIA World Championships on the grid this weekend. So, well, a great start. I think the start is... There are options at the start. There are definitely options at the start. This is where we're at the minute after Q1, Heat 1 and 2. Kristoffersen and Arlen Kolinski winning the first race, Hansen and Munnings winning the second race, and that's your lineup for qualifying 2, which you'll be able to see in the final show later on today. Who's your money on?
Ooh, good question. I'm going to go with a bit of Loeb luck.
Are you?
It's been great to see Sebastian Loeb back in the driving seat. He is such a living legend.
Yeah, he is.
So, yeah, I'm going to put my money on him.
Okay, well, it's going to be a great battle the rest of today. It's fantastic to see Leah Block making a great debut this weekend as well in Sardinia. Some fantastic racing. We hope you've enjoyed qualifying 1 and very much hope you'll be joining us later on today for qualifying 2 and for the redemption race and of course the final to see who is going to win round 5 of Extreme E. So we will see you soon.